Since July 2020, total store potato sales have remained above the previous year's sales by 4.1% in dollars and slightly elevated in volume sales by 0.7%. While some categories have declined compared to the panic buying that occurred at the beginning of 2020, the majority of potato categories have remained elevated above sales in 2017, 2018, and 2019. Potato sales since last July have continued to increase every month until this past March. March of 2020 was an unprecedented time in grocery retail. We saw consumers buying enough toilet paper to last 10 years, clearing out cleaning supplies for months, and empty potato shelves across the store. The industry called it panic buying because that's exactly what retail consumers were doing, panicking. Living through a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic has its learning curves. Looking over the last year, we all have the same question. What does all of this change mean for potatoes and retailers? From July 1, 2020 through the end of February 2021, potato sales remained at 5-year highs in both dollar and volume sales for almost all potato categories. Looking at the sales for March, April, and May will make us all a little uncomfortable because sales are down significantly compared to those same months in 2020. But again, this was expected because the panic buying was an unprecedented, isolated occurrence. There was no way consumer demand would repeat the same unpredictable months from 2020, nor do we want it to. We have entered a more normal state, and we should look at the numbers more holistically. One change we have seen is within the retail sales for deli prepared sides. From July 1, 2020 through May 16, 2021, deli prepared sides are up in dollar sales by 1.7% and only down in volume by 0.4%. For a category that was almost non-existent last year when salad bars were removed, this shows two things. Retailers have refocused efforts in this department to meet more prepackaged demand from consumers, and society is becoming a little more mobile. The produce department is a constant focal point within the grocery store, as it is typically a category that drives retail loyalty from consumers. While dollar sales are still positive from retailers from July 1, 2020 through May 16, 2021, volume sales are slightly down by 0.7%. Within the fresh category, russets, reds, and white potatoes are responsible for the significant decline in sales. The positive news is that consumers have bought even more yellow potatoes, as well as specialty potatoes such as petite, medley, and fingerlings. The growth in these categories makes up for whatever decline we are seeing in the other fresh types. 5-pound bags still make up the largest volume, but retail sales for smaller pack sizes are showing the largest growth in both dollars and volume. The center of the grocery store saw the largest change over the last year. Shelves in the center of the store remained empty longer than in the produce department, but eventually adjusted to more normal buying patterns. The extended out of stocks did not impact retail consumers' decision to buy potatoes at the center of the store. Frozen potato sales from July 1, 2020 through May 16, 2021 are up in dollar sales by 8.2%, and volume sales are up 6.1%. This is incredible, seeing as that includes a comparison to the panic buying last year. It also reflects that if the shelves were not empty last year, sales would have been even stronger. The fresh potato consumer has increased their repeat purchases for frozen potatoes as well. Both of these are great for retailers as they continue to improve the in-store and online experience for consumers. Potatoes have been described as a pandemic powerhouse over the last year. What is more important to me, though, is that those pandemic sales translate into long-term growth for our category. We will continue to offer consistency and nutrient-dense cooking options for retail consumers. By focusing on what is important to retailers, we can show them potatoes are a staple in households for all categories across the store. We are already working to help retailers address the changes they have seen over the last year by conducting research to update the merchandising best practices, creating a retail toolkit, and working with prominent retail media to get the right information in front of the right people at the right time.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Keeping It Current. If you missed an episode, you can always find the full archive on potatoesusa.com. Until next time, keep your heads high and your thoughts kind. Potatoes, real food, real performance.